Joyful blessings. This is Kaylin Castell. Very excited to share with you the ongoing sky mysteries. This one looking at Uranus and the North Node in Taurus from 2022 into 2023, and how this is initiating a new Earth destiny into the Garden of Earthly Delight and the pleasure paradigm. We'll also take a peek at 2037 and beyond. So very excited to share this with you. Now, the Uranus entered Taurus on May 15th of 2018, and it's going to leave Taurus for the final time on April 27th, 2026. So we're kind of in the midst of this process. It's been going on for a while. And if we think about Uranus and Taurus, it's revolutionizing our understanding and desire to return to the Garden of Earthly Delight in the emerging pleasure paradigm. So whatever is counter to the evolution of pleasure as an embodied experience is going through a disruption that's designed to expand our perspective around the mysteries of intimacy, receiving, and beauty to help us in our deepest experiences of pleasure. Now, interestingly, it feels like we're living in a world where that has it was like they're trying to take that away from us, the ability to have more of that away from us. Or at least it's been disrupted so much. But maybe what it's done is it's helped us to expand and awaken to the importance of pleasure, of embodied pleasure. So here is a painting that was created by Hieronymus Bosch. He took 20 years to complete this. He started the painting in 1490 when Jupiter was in Taurus, and he finished it in 1520 when the South Node was in Taurus. And so and in fact, that meant that the South Node was in Taurus in the beginning of the time when he was painting the painting, and it came back into Taurus at the time he was ending that painting. So we could see that the Taurian mysteries were very much a part of that painting. Now, Uranus with the North Node is Taurus is about radically changing Earth's destiny, or creating a new a reset or a new way for the Earth to be experiencing pleasure and beauty and the Garden of Earthly Delight. And this is happening from 2022 to 2023. The nodes having entered Taurus Scorpio on January 18th of 2022. And then on April 2nd of 2022, the North Node and Uranus came within 10 degrees of each other. Now, it's important to remember that the nodes move backwards through the signs. They precess, they don't process. Also, the North Node has to do with where we're moving toward, our future, the intent of how we're moving forward. And the South Node has to do with the past, the things that might be in the way of our moving forward to a future destiny, and also the things of the past that can help us move towards that future destiny. And the nodes are really what create the eclipses, and the eclipses accelerate whatever the intention is, especially what we're holding in intention. So we want to be careful around the times of the eclipses. And of course, Uranus is about unexpected events that create radical changes, revolutionary changes in our reality. So we want to also honor the fact that it is an acceleration of evolution that is intended to happen whenever Uranus is with the North Node. Now, on July 31st, 2020, Uranus will be exactly conjunct the North Node at almost 19 Taurus, 18 Taurus 41. You can see in the chart here, Uranus in the North Node at 1841 Taurus, and you can see Mars is at 1755 Taurus on July 31st. So here's what we want to ask. What is the vision that we're holding for our personal experience and our collective destiny of the new Earth? And with Mars there, having to do with having courage and taking action towards a specific goal or end, we could ask ourselves, do you have the courage to surrender and let go of the old? And do you have the courage to know and expect that this is a divine unfolding for the greatest good of all life? And do you have the courage to cultivate trust, faith, optimism, and allowing that the new Earth unfolding, this unfolding destiny for the new Earth, is going forward in the best ways possible? So Uranus in Taurus is about disrupting the old unworkable ways and instigating new ways for us to value ourselves in all life, to engage in intimate connections with ourselves and others, to appreciate the blessings of beauty, to genuinely receive, savor, and enjoy pleasure, to explore pleasure as a primary teacher, and to extend moments of pleasure for as long as possible without pain. Now, what I mean by that is, like, if you're having a lovely meal and you find that you're reaching a place where you're full, you're not going to go and eat beyond that to create pain. This is like, how do we have those moments of pleasure? If there are certain foods that cause digestion issues for you, but it's a moment of pleasure, but then you experience hours of pain, then you would maybe learn to avoid those foods. So it might be the same with exercise. Like if you're just starting out with, taking walks or going for runs or whatever kind of exercise, you start slow and you build up so that you don't go into pain. So the other thing is that if we're resisting the disruptions that is needed to create the new earth, then that resistance creates pain. So we want to allow ourselves to go with the flow, to not try to hold on to anything and to resist the changes that are taking place. Now, the old limiting ways are no longer useful, and so they have to be disrupted for true change to occur, so that our emerging destiny can again live in the garden of earthly delight. So here we see the earth, and we see the old earth and the new earth. And the old earth has certain conditioning, certain ways of looking at things that have limited us, that's created lack, that's created suffering, pain, and war. But as we're moving into the new earth, we're awakening in our, expanding our perception. We're having new knowledge. We're experiencing, ideally, we'll be experiencing greater abundance. We'll be experiencing greater love, peace, and pleasure. So this is, we want to really start focusing our attention on the new earth destiny that's being set as we go through this time. Now, Uranus and the North Node come together about every 15 years. And so I've created a table that you can look at here to see from 1809 to 2387. And that the last time Uranus was conjunct the North Node in Taurus was March 16th, 1855. And then the next time Uranus will be conjunct the North Node in Taurus will be March 19th of 2190. So it's about every 167 to 168 years they come back to the same sign. Uranus will come back to the same sign to come together. And we can see that there's a pattern here. Back in March 31st of 2007, Uranus and the North Node were conjunct in Pisces, and on October 20th, 2037, Uranus will be conjunct the North Node in Cancer, and that happened around the time of 1855 and will happen again in 2190 and again in 2357. We will have the previous North Node and the following North Node conjunctions in the same sign. Pretty amazing to think into or to feel into that. So just so you get a sense of also how every 335 years, Uranus and the North Node come back together within a few days of the time they were together in 335 years. And they're near the same sign in degree. So if we can see here on March 16th, 1855, Uranus and the North Node were conjunct around 14 Taurus. And on March 19th, 2190, 335 years later, they're conjunct again. So it's only 3 days difference. And Uranus is at 14 Taurus 33. So there's only 38 minutes difference between the conjunction in 1855 and the one in 2190. We could also look at July 31st, 2022, the conjunction that's happening. And that it's going to be almost 19 Taurus. And in August 3rd of 2357, it is at 19 Taurus, and it's only 4 days different. So there is a pattern of the North Node conjunctions in Taurus and probably other ones too, but we're focusing on the Taurus one because that's what's happening. So if you're finding this interesting and you want additional videos, because I'm going to go more deeply into a lot of these things, you can, and you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do, and be sure to activate the notification bell so you get notified when the next video is posted. And I do do regular videos pretty often. So trying to keep you up to date on what's going on. So here we're looking at the star map of March 16th, 1855, and the how Venus, this was looking in the evening sky. So we're looking west after sunset. Uranus is below the Pleiades, Venus and Saturn are in the sky. So that was what happened in March of 1855. Now we're looking at July 31st of 2022, and we can see that Uranus and Mars are very close together, and they're very close to the Pleiades, as was the case in and Venus, of course, is way down on close to the horizon. But this is something you will hopefully be able to see. Jupiter's also there, but it's going to be further up, and so will be Saturn. So you have to get up pretty early to be able to see all of that on July 31st. And so again, it's going to be 168 years before they come together. Now, Uranus or Taurus is considered an earth sign, and earth is considered to be slow to change. And typically Taurus is seen as resisting change or being slow to change. It doesn't really like change to happen too fast. Partly this is because Uranus is really about savoring pleasurable moments for as long as possible. But it could be open to changing more quickly if it means getting to a pleasurable experience more quickly. So now Uranus is seen as typically changing fast, rapid, sudden, unexpected change. So if we think about that, the earth can actually change very fast. Landslides, volcanoes, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, that kind of thing. But erosion and weathering, those take a long time to change the landscape. So the earth doesn't always change quickly, but it doesn't always change slowly either. Now, with Uranus, unexpected change, sudden unexpected change is often what happens, but unexpected is the key word. And so sometimes it might be slower to change. Slowing down might be the unexpected thing. And to really be thoughtful and considerate about what are the intentions and how are we moving them forward. So what I feel like the intention is how we're really recognizing that pleasure is medicine. Pleasure is empowering. Pleasure is sacred. Pleasure is a part of the garden of earthly delight. So how do we cultivate pleasure? Now, there's been a lot of recognition around the feel-good hormones, oxytocin, endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and there are certain practices we can do to activate those hormones. Long hugs with somebody. They say if you hug for 10 to 20 seconds, you get more oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin activated. If you do certain kind of breathing practices, that will activate oxytocin. If you spend time in the sun, sunlight is so important to activate our feel-good hormones. And this doesn't mean going out into the sun with sunscreen on. This means, spending 20 minutes so you're not going to get sunburned, building up that energy, and sun is just so good for us. It's so good for our hormonal levels. And if we go at certain times of the day, like when the sun is rising, the sun is setting, and we're getting sunlight around that time, it will help activate that feeling of pleasure, because pleasure is what we are here to experience. And we are, we could say if we are intending, we will have more pleasure, and pleasure is our medicine. It is our empowering thing. Then we will have more pleasure. Now, the nodes will enter Aries Libra on July 17th, 2023. They're going to be in a very close square to Pluto. You can see here, there's the North Node square Pluto, 29 degrees Aries, squaring Pluto at 29 Capricorn. Here's the South Node at 29 degrees Libra, squaring Pluto at 29 Capricorn. And they're going to reach their exact square on July 22nd. That's the Magdalene feast day. So this is a little preview of what's coming in, and how perhaps whatever is in the way of what we're intending now will be further eliminated when we get the nodes into the Aries Libra axis. And also when the nodes enter the Aries Libra axis, this is the 19-year lunar standstill coming to its maximum point. So That'll happen in, I think it's in 2025, we'll have the maximum point of the lunar standstill. I've done videos on that, so definitely you can check that out. Now, the other thing that's going to happen is Chiron will be within 10 degrees of the North Node. So a lot of radical changes are going to happen around this. So stay tuned for the video coming on this. But meanwhile, we just want to come back to and energize the intent of the North Node with Uranus exact on July 31st, within 10 degrees until early March of 2023. And we can see that the old Earth is falling away and a new Earth is emerging, and that this new Earth is already coming into form. So these alignments are reminding us it's time to let go of the past, open to and trust the evolutionary changes, while also connecting with the cosmic codes we all carry within, and awakening to the divine love within and all around us that is pleasurable and is guiding us towards our divine destiny of living in the garden of earthly delight when we surrender, allow, and forgive. So this is the opportunity that we have coming up for us, and the intention that we can hold to create a new earth in the ways that will be pleasurable, will be fun, and will be joyful and magical and amazing.